A few days ago, Dana White held a press conference where he talked about UFC Vegas 70, what happened with the main event, what happened in the fights that did happen, and in the fights that didn't happen. And he was also asked a few questions about the UFC 285 backup fighter. We've seen with these past couple pay-per-views, most of them have had a backup fighter for the main event or the co-main event even sometimes. But for this fight, Dana White was asked, a few questions like who is the backup fighter, because we haven't gotten any news about that. Dana White didn't say who it was, but he did rule out it not being Stipe Miocic and Curtis Blades. So we knew it wasn't either of them two, but we didn't know exactly who it was. Not until 2 days later today, where it did come out officially that Serghei Pavlovich is the official backup fighter for UFC 285 main event Jones versus Gane. Now, I think this was the right move, honestly, because let's say the fight did get, someone had to pull out, and you don't want to throw Stipe into there right away. He's had a layoff, he's not training, or at least it's not public that he's training, and he is coming off of a knockout loss. There's, that whole negotiations and also him kind of being the top guy next to Ciryl Gane. He is number 2 right now at heavyweight. You want to give him that title shot next after Ciryl Gane or after John Jones. Whoever loses, Stipe is likely going to be next. So you don't want to throw him in there on short notice. You're likely going to throw in someone else, right? So there was Curtis Blades, but also Curtis Blades is someone that a lot of the fans are looking at, and the UFC themselves. A lot of people want Curtis Blades to get that title shot, to be pushed to that next level. So I think it was best for the UFC not to go down that route either. So in case of one of the fighters pulling out, just a week before, a few days before the fight is meant to take place, I think Serghei Pavlovich was the way to go. I think this was the best choice just in case. I don't know why. I feel like someone's going to pull out. I feel like it's probably going to be John Jones. I don't know what it is. There's just some looming presence for me that one of them's going to pull out. And, in case of that actually happening, Serghei Pavlovich was the best option. I think the UFC definitely went with the best guy here to step in on short notice. And let's say that does happen, right? Let's say John Jones pulls out. He pops for steroids. He gets injured, whatever, right? Let's say he does pull out, and it's Gane versus Pavlovich in the main event for the heavyweight title. I think Gane still wins. I think the speed and the timing, the skill, I think everything that Gane has is just going to be better for Pavlovich. Here's the thing. A lot of people like to compare Pavlovich to Ngannou, but they're very, very different. Ngannou has nice wrestling. He was able to out wrestle Stipe, stuff the takedowns in the second fight, at least, not the first fight, but in the second fight, he was able to do well on the ground against Ciryl Gane, which is why he won that fight. Sorry, I'm sick. I know you heard that. I am very, very sick right now. But yeah, and Ngannou hits hard. Everybody knows this. He hits very, very hard. And he hits harder than Pavlovich. He has better striking than Pavlovich, in my opinion. He has definitely better wrestling than Pavlovich. And if Ciryl Gane can almost beat that version of Ngannou, then Ciryl Gane can beat, definitively, this version of Pavlovich. Especially a guy who's not training that much. Obviously, he had a fight announced a few days ago, but that's a few days ago, and we don't know how long exactly he's been training. So it's not a full camp, full potential Pavlovich, especially if, let's say 3 days notice, oh, you're fighting Ciryl Gane now, the number 1 heavyweight in the world. It's different. It's not the same as a full camp. But let's say Gane had an injury, or maybe even Gane paused for steroids. That's maybe, who knows. But let's say it's now John Jones versus Serghei Pavlovich. Come on, it's John Jones. I do have him winning that fight as well. I think even though Serghei Pavlovich was definitely the best way to go for a replacement opponent, I don't think he would win against either one if he was the replacement opponent. If you guys, know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about this. Kind of sick right now, so if the video is kind of sloppy in my talking and in the way I'm saying things, whatever, I do apologize for that. But yeah, Serghei Pavlovich is officially the backup fighter for UFC 285.